eyes that see so deep, endless hours, no sleep.
Hello, vampires, and welcome to Mystic Falling, a recap podcast of CW's The Vampire Diaries from two elder millennial women who, surprisingly, have never seen the show before. I am Beth Elderkin.
And I'm Abby Kindler.
And today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 2, Night of the Comet. The episode title is the first and what I'm guessing is a recurring theme of reference-based titles, because the next one is Friday Night Bites. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a long-standing theme, because Night of the Comet is actually the title of a 1984 B movie about like a zombie apocalypse after an asteroid, and it centers around two teenage girls, and apparently it inspired the character of Buffy Summers from the TV version. And I watched the trailer for it. I'll make sure to link it in the show notes. It looks like a lot of fun.
Every word you said sounded fun, so I'm in, all the way in. It's funny because the titles are so referential to other things, because we're 2 episodes in, and it almost seems like this is a parody show of every other vampire media. I mean, the Wuthering Heights stuff just cemented it as, this is Twilight. It's Twilight.
Oh, yeah, to the point where the first opening shot is of Elena's eyes, and you can very clearly see the colored contacts. Okay, Bella. Gotta have the brown eyes for Bella.
Go Bella. Yeah.
Well, everybody, last week we launched our podcast. Yay, hooray. And in the first episode, we saw Stefan and Elena first meet. And we were introduced to Damon, the third part of the love triangle that we are establishing. And then, of course, Bonnie, not a psychic. Definitely not a witch.
Nope.
Oh, wait, actually, no, she is a witch. And yes, and we get a lot of new sets in this episode.
The whole time, Bonnie's whole character is just Daphne from Frasier. I'm a little psychic. I'm just a little bit psychic. And then is just like crazy psychic moments for no reason. Yeah, go Bonnie.
Yeah, and they haven't figured out how to manifest her psychic abilities in a visually interesting way, like they have with the vampires. She just goes...
I appreciate that they're not trying to make it seem normal. They're making her seem super weird. Like, she just takes the thing from Stefan earlier and goes, oh, dude, what happened to you? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then runs away.
It happens like 5 times.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, Abby, would you like to take us through a recap of this episode, Night of the Comet?
All right. This episode aired on September 17th, 2009, in the way back years. The town of Mystic Falls, Beth, is preparing for the historic passing of a comet, which passed by 145 years ago. I wonder who might have also been in town 145 years ago. Stumper.
Oh, I didn't even put those pieces together.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. It's fine. It's whatever. But
for the heck of it, I did pull some comet data for Virginia because I got real nerdy on it. And there was a comet seen in Virginia in 2009 called Lulin in February. I don't know how big it was. However, there was a big comet that passed through Virginia last year called Atlas. And there's some really cool photos of it if you search it on Google. Highly recommend. And that one won't be seen again for 800 centuries, aka 80,000 years.
You know, it's fine. Let's see if you catch that one, Stefan. Look.
Well, I mean, he's immortal, so
maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. I want to see some vampire stuff where the vampires are comically old. Like a vampire that's like a caveman.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the first vampire not being some suave guy from ancient Egypt or something, but just some Neanderthal from millions of years ago. Cro-Magnon goes just through the cycle.
I was there when fire was invented. It was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So Miss Vicky is recovering in the hospital. She had the cliffhanger phrase at the end of the episode last week of vampires. And Stefan goes and does some quick vampire magic. Some, what do they call it they had a word for it in True Blood. Now I'm forgetting what it was called. Glamoring. You glamour. Thank you. We got there. They glamour. And while he's there, Matt sees him and is immediately suspect. for some reason. This all just reminded me of the Sabrina episode, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where that one guy has the witch hunting jeans. They're little pair of jeans.
Yeah, it's also weird because Stefan does the thing where he runs in super fast, but then he just casually saunters out even when he knows he's being followed. If it was an issue with his powers because, they're limited because he doesn't drink human blood, I would have liked some indication that that was what it was instead of it just being the drama.
I think it was just the drama, but we could maybe spackle it a little and just say maybe that's what it was. He was feeling tired. He'd only had one small mouse for the day, so he's hungry. He needs his bigger animals. Jeremy is also apparently skipping school, dealing drugs, and we got to talk about Mr. Tanner here in a little bit, but this guy sucks. And basically dresses down a woman trying her best to lose her sister and then raise her children. This guy sucks.
Yeah, this is my standout moment, so we'll get into it. I have mixed feelings about it. So it's going to be it'll be interesting to dive into that. But yeah, she just tries the cool mom. I did weed.
It's fine. I did pot once in college. It was fine. And then goes full psycho mom and it starts digging through the house. Yeah, Jeremy changes nothing about himself in this episode. Jenna just gives herself a small aneurysm. So
yeah, and I feel for her, but as a mom of a 4-year-old and you have a child who was a toddler once as well, inconsistent parenting is a no-no. You can't shift gears like that so quickly because then they don't trust you.
Yeah, and again, and we'll I'm getting ahead of myself. We will talk about the they've been dead for 4 months situation. Elena decides that this is her year. She is going to be a hot girl who goes and gets what she wants. So she goes to Stefan's house and does not run into Stefan. She runs into Damon, and this is their meeting. And Damon's just like, yeah, he's pretty broken up about his previous girlfriend, Catherine. It's pretty messy. Did he not tell you about her? Weird that he wouldn't tell you about her. And just immediately throws Elena into her mind. And she's just like, I have to go. Because Stefan shows up and is super weird about it too. Why are you here? What are we doing? I'll see you tomorrow. All very weird behavior.
Yeah, he's not doing himself any favors. And Damon also doesn't really do himself a lot of favors because I don't know. I liked the portrayal a little bit in the previous episode. I think the actor's still finding his footing. I also heard his Canadian accent at least 1 or 2 times.
It was slipping.
Slipping.
I'm also glad they didn't attack him with a flat iron this time.
Mm-hmm.
His hair had some natural curl to it as opposed to that weird stick straight thing that they were doing in the pilot. So Damon, so they have the festival and the town square is full of people just with candles. Unclear about the candles.
Vigil candles.
Vigil
Those
candles.
are what you would do if somebody dies. So is it the death of her innocence? Perhaps.
Possibly, because she also gets her candle lit and then just stumble lights Stefan's candle. She just turns, she's like, oh no, our candles, they're lighting it all by themselves. Magic. And while this is happening, Vicky is around and she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I got attacked a little bit and my boss is not letting me have time off work. But anyway, I'm going to go out to this event for the Comet. It's going to be fine. And oh no, I'm getting attacked by another vampire. This girl cannot catch a break at all.
No, she cannot. But she goes right back into the drugs.
Yep. Right back into the drugs. She starts using, which is usually how they're trying to play off that she's not remembering how this stuff is going. She's like, I just take so many pills. And Damon basically has her up on the roof and they have a confrontation, which is my standout moment. So we will get into it. All the whole time, Stefan and Elena are having a beautiful blossoming of their relationship. And my God, they kiss immediately. I thought we were going to have to go episode to episode, slow burn style. Nope. They're kissing episode 2. Let's go.
I was surprised. I thought they were going to draw it out a little bit more, especially because there's a whole thing where she's telling her friends, oh yeah, we just talked for hours. And they're like, well, why don't you jump his bones? And maybe her thing could be, I don't need that right now. I just need somebody to talk to. And he's that person for me. So it didn't necessarily need to get physical this quickly. I'm not bothered by it, but it was surprising.
It was, but then I'm also remembering that Elena is an actual teenager. Disappointed in Stefan. He's a grown man of his many hundred years. He should be smarter than this. But yeah, I would think that she would just kind of want emotional availability right now, but maybe she's ready for a bad boy who she doesn't quite trust right now, but he's super pretty, so it's fine.
Speaking of an older man taking advantage of an underage child.
My goodness, this scene is so troubling. We close with a True Blood style, but CW dressed up sex scene with Damon and Caroline. And it's nice. She's having a great time.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
up until when he bites her. And she just starts screaming. She's not into it. So,
I wasn't into it either.
listen, she has that like nice little yellow dress that she wears like the whole episode. What if the dress is nearby? She's gonna get blood all over it. It's nice. She got that from Wet Seal with a little hoodie
Mhm.
shrug that went on top of it. It's gonna show blood everywhere.
And that
Awful.
Victoria's Secret bra, that cost a pretty penny. That wasn't cheap.
Also, respect for wearing like a dark bra under a light dress. Good for her.
Oh my goodness. I'm legit gonna rewatch to see if you ever see her bra straps and see if the bra matches.
Absolutely no way.
No.
Oh, no way. Actually, if it was proper early 2000s, she was wearing clear spaghetti straps. They're invisible.
Oh my god, I remember those. They didn't work. We all pretended
No.
they did.
And then you just got like a weird rash. Like it was
Mhm.
just like it got rubbed on your thing. So that's the episode in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. One note I wanted to make before I get into my standout moment, because it's a random thing,
Yeah.
and I just love the little random thing that gets to me for some reason. Why did the town make legit banners for the comet?
I will say that did have very small town vibe to it. Like the mayor knows a guy whose wife makes these and they make them for everything. The parks department at Mystic Falls goes bonkers. So I come from a little town in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield in Ohio. They made St. Patrick's Day banners like these and they hung them up. The flag was not the Irish flag. It was backwards and they just continue to use them for years, even though it was not an Irish flag at all.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love that
No
so
matter
much.
no matter how many times it got pointed out, they just kind of decided to not care. So yeah, it was a confusing festival
Mhm.
with the vigil candles, but then the banners and the excitement and the yay, but then it's just them standing and staring. There was
Yeah.
no like guy pointing and talking. No, none of that.
Yeah. A bit of mansplaining a comet.
A bit.
Let's talk about adults failing in multiple ways.
Amazing.
So I want to first kind of set the scene with not only the preceding scene to this confrontation between Mr. Tanner and Jenna, but also the preceding episode. She's clearly trying to be cool aunt, has not adapted into the role. And yes, it is hard, but it's also been 4 months. I feel like some of these limitations and challenges should have been. I don't feel like she would be this ignorant of all the problems. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm thinking 4 months seems like a lot longer than it really is, especially after a tragic car accident and what I would assume is some sort of, it's a small town, so there's a lot of talking about it. And I mean, you lost your parents. And how long does it take for you to, bury and mourn somebody, let alone find your groove as a new funny little family? So she's probably just in like the second or third stage of they were just sort of coping before. But now school has started and, oh no, I can't be cool aunt anymore, but I'm going to keep trying because it's awkward not to be. I get it. But at the same time, it's being portrayed very awkwardly because she also just looks as old as Elena. So it's
Yeah,
confusing.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's in her late 20s. Well, she does, but that's because Elena also looks like she's in her mid to late 20s. And this is actually the moment I'm going to talk about the book comparison because I want to talk about Jenna / Aunt Judith because this is a completely different character. In the books, there's no Aunt Jenna. It is Aunt Judith. Aunt Judith is much older, has a fiance, and is very responsible for the kids. There are no issues like this in the books. Granted, Jeremy also doesn't exist, but we're going to save that for another time. Throwing all the curveballs at you.
We invented a drug-dealing teenager.
We
Amazing.
did. And I just have to say, there are too many subplots in this episode. Too many of them are about Jeremy, and I didn't like any of them.
Yeah, I'm not getting the Jeremy thing at all. I'm not compelled by any of the storyline.
I'm not either. I don't care about his obsession with Vicky. I don't care about his drug dealing. I just don't. His weird competition with that other guy, Todd, with the polo with the collar up.
Yeah. Well, you don't go visit her in the hospital. I have logistical questions. Where is he getting the drugs? When is he finding time to get said drugs? There's a whole infrastructure that he's existing in that is not being shown. He just has drugs that he mostly just gives to Vicky.
Mhm.
Bad drug dealing. Terrible drug dealer.
Yeah. So that's just kind of all the precedent is. Jenna is very different in the show. She's a lot younger, a lot less experienced, and also is faced with a harder challenge in Jeremy because Jeremy does not exist in the books. So she gets called into a parent-teacher conference. I don't know about parent-teacher conferences. I was homeschooled, and my son is not old enough for those yet. Hopefully we don't have to deal with all that crap, but I feel like missing 6 classes in the first 3 days, I have to wonder, why didn't she know already? Why weren't they calling her immediately? Was she just not answering the phone? Why did Mr. Tanner not mention detention? He skipped detention as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why have they not suspended him? Which I feel like would be a thing that would happen, especially after the first, 3 days. You
For sure.
sit and think about your choices. You have more experience with this than I do. Am I off my rocker, or is this kind of on track with where's the communication issues? There's a lot of them.
So, a couple of things. First of all, isn't he the history teacher? Why is he having this conversation with her?
Yes, also. Yes, exactly that. Agreed.
Okay. Also, I think she calls it a parent-teacher conference, but parent-teacher conferences happen later in the fall.
Mhm.
Like after your teacher gets to know you and you're talking about performance and have metrics. 3 days and meeting the teacher, that is the communication, I think. Like it's hey, you need to come in. We need to talk about your drug dealing nephew right now. However, that being said, his approach of they died 4 months ago, wah.
She's like, "Are you aware that their parents died?" Which he's like, "Yeah, tragic loss."
Yeah, well, yeah, real sad, real sad. See this little violin? Got it. He needs to come to class.
He should be over it by now. Why isn't he over this by now?
He had 3 months. We are sad. We're going to pick ourselves up. We're going to eat ourselves some Rocky Road ice cream, and we're going to get over the death of our parents, the sudden and tragic loss and complete upheaval of the life that we know. 4 months, plenty of time. We all know that teenagers deal with change in good, calm ways because they are full of emotions that they can definitely control.
Absolutely.
And hormones that are not raging through their body.
Mhm.
Teenagers, always very practical and logical. This scene made me laugh the whole time because Jenna feels bad. Jenna's like, God, this guy's right. I'm the worst mom in the universe. I can't believe I did all this. And Tanner's going home to his wife being like, I told that lady I was so smart. I definitely turned it around. Jeremy's 100% going to be in class tomorrow.
No, he was doing it to have a bitch fest. Let's be clear. Like he wanted to rant, and he wanted to rant at somebody who could not fight back. That said, as harsh and horrible as he was in what he was saying to Jenna about custody, he's not entirely wrong.
Right answer, wrong approach.
Yes.
I think there's a way to have that conversation somewhere between the conversation with Ferris Bueller's mom 9 times. He's been absent 9 times before this. Like he's been missing all this class. Like any teacher, I feel worth their salt would be like, hey, I'm real worried about him. I'm pretty sure he's doing drugs. It's clearly he was a good kid beforehand. Do you need any resources? Because you are clearly in over your head. Instead, he's just like, are there any other like family members you could pawn him off on? Because damn, you're bad at this.
Which is a little frustrating to me because I feel like the show is trying to put us in the direction that he's wrong, that she's gonna pick it up, that she's doing her thing, but he's not. This is a legit conversation to have. Is she the right caretaker for these kids? And right now the answer is no.
This show is just like every movie from the early 2000s smashed together.
Yeah.
Remember the rash of movies of like parents dying tragically and then completely unfit mid-20 women taking care of them?
It was a thing.
It was like a lot of like just sudden families of just being like, what was the one? It had Brittany Murphy picks up like Dakota Fanning as a kid. There's so many of these movies. I just named one, but there was just a lot of those.
Yeah. That was a thing.
Okay.
Why do you think they changed Aunt Judith to Aunt Jenna? Why did they make her young?
I think the idea, much like our previous show we watched, Once Upon a Time, everyone needs to be 28. We can't have older responsible adults that are going to clock the weirdness of some vampires. An irresponsible, somewhat overwhelmed late 20s woman trying to like chase after a drug dealing teenager is not going to notice the cute boy that keeps standing outside of Elena's window. She's going to write it off as cute and adorable or something for just a little bit too long. And me, as what would be as an Aunt Judith age, I'd be like, no, I'm putting bars in your window. This guy can't come in. It's weird. All of this behavior, upsetting. Like, you would clock that stuff. You'd get the vibe. You'd be like, no, absolutely not.
Has
Not
he
Jenna.
introduced himself to me?
Exactly. I would like him to come in. And he starts with introducing me as, he addresses me as Miss or Mrs. Nothing else. He doesn't get to know my first name.
Nope.
Ever.
I'm ma'am.
I am
Ma'am
ma'am.
to you.
I am ma'am and nothing else. Aunt Jenna will not notice the creepy vampires who look like adults. Aunt Judith will. So, and also it's the CW. After you turn 30, you die. So,
That is fair. And that is accurate. Well, Abby, you wanted to talk about Stefan and Damon on the rooftop. So let's dive into it.
I love a good power scaling moment. And that's what we got in this episode. All of the world building about vampires and how they have magic and how they get the magic. So when Damon and Stefan are on the roof fighting over a drugged up and terrified Vicky, there is a lot of talking, but there's also a lot of showing, which is nice. It was weird and very refreshing, where Damon is telling Stefan, hey, your little trick didn't work on her of trying to like glamour it away from her because you're just eating animal blood. That's not what we're supposed to be feeding on. You're not at full strength. I, on the other hand, who have eaten several residents in the past 24 hours, am at my most powerful. And now I am going to glamour her to think that you are the one that did this to her. And there's absolutely no way you can change that. Because I am stronger. Because I am drinking human blood as a true vampire should.
It is a full check and mate situation.
It is. And just to be the biggest dick about it, he undoes it. Like realizing that he's trying to taunt Stefan into eating human blood, drinking human blood rather. And Stefan, good for him. Good for him. He walks, he says, just say no to human blood. And Damon's really annoyed and bored by this whole thing. So he undoes what he did to Vicky. She now writes this off as a drug-induced haze and carries on with her weird little life. And we know that Damon is terrifyingly strong and Stefan is not.
You're right. This was a good way to show, don't tell. We have like full rooftop serious confrontation. She's being held over the edge. She's screaming her head off. And my God, this actress is just asked to scream 40 times in this episode. I think she screams more than talks.
Yeah, the patch that's on her later in the episode, that's not a bandage, it's an ice pack. It's just
It burned my throat. And yeah, it's a cool show, don't tell. I really loved that moment when he compels. I think it's compel
okay.
with vampires. I think it's like a compelling thing because glamour is usually when you like disguise your appearance.
Well, glamour is what they called it in True Blood. So that's where I was getting that
Oh,
verbiage from. So,
okay.
but compel is probably the actual term for it.
Yeah, but he compels her to think that Stefan did it and that she's going to tell everybody. That was such a good way for him to just, hey, I win.
So I have one question that I just want to kind of figure out what you think.
Sure.
When Stefan jumps up on the roof, Damon says, "Oh, look at you. Did you eat a bunny?" Was he making fun of him with just no anything else behind that, just like jabbing him about eating animals? Or is there about to be a power reveal of if you snack on blood of someone with powers, you become that kind of power?
So, like, if he snacked on a bunny, he can jump really high.
He can jump real high, yeah.
I'm going to say the former. As fun as it would be to be like, I drank the blood of an owl, now I can see really good in the dark. Or I drank the blood of a dolphin. Whee!
Or I drink the blood of Bonnie and suddenly I am clairvoyant. I drink the blood of a football guy and now I run so fast. What is that the plot of? I think that might just be the plot of iZombie, where she would eat the brains and she would get all their memories, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. As fun as that would be, I don't think that that's what it is. That said, I can't say for sure because, again, we have not seen this show before, so I do not know.
We will see.
And also, if it's not true right now, it could very well just become true later.
It's all very like, for anyone that's reading the Fourth Wing series, it's like second signets. They're so rare. Suddenly it's like, everyone's got a second signet. Okay, like we just keep getting farther into the magic that they just keep discovering as they keep going. Anyway, I really love that moment on the roof. I think it gave a lot to the lore and the world building about what kind of vampires they are, how strong they are and can be, and the dynamic between Stefan and Damon. So
yes,
I really loved that.
All right, well, Abby,
Yes, ma'am.
do we have some behind the scenes details that you would like to share, either from the DVD or looking on the Wikipedia? Like, what are some cool standout moments behind the scenes?
Well, there was one cut scene that was
Oh.
on my DVD. Again, navigating the DVD box set is like a moment out of time. It just feels very archaic and wonderful. The deleted scene is kind of a nothing burger. It seems like a cut for time kind of thing, but it is Vicky talking to what's blonde football dude's name? I keep forgetting it. Matt. And they're playing billiards at the teenage club that they go to, I guess. And basically says, "Hey, stop screwing around with Jeremy. Cut him loose. Stop whatever you're doing. This sucks." And she's like, "I've got it all under control." And then she leaves. That's the whole scene. They're like, here's a scene for the show that we cut. It's 30 seconds of stop sleeping with Jeremy. No. End.
There's actually a moment that reminded me of that I wanted to bring up because it was really, really, really funny to me.
Okay.
When Jeremy comes up and it's like, Vicky's missing. And for some reason, all the principal characters who are impacted by Vicky being missing are at the table together.
Yeah.
Like, Matt's there, Caroline's there, Bonnie's there, Tony's there, or Toby, or whatever his name is. Why is he hanging out with them? I thought they all hated him.
I am so confused by the friend group.
Yeah.
And how this all works. But yeah, no, you're right. He shows up, "Hey, gang, you'll never believe it. Vicky's missing." And they all kind of go, eh.
They all go, and then they all just kind of branch off in separate directions at the same time.
Yeah,
they all
they're
just
all just
leave
like-
simultaneously.
They're like, "Why do you care, man?" And then they leave. They're just, no one cares about this poor girl, which sucks for her, but except Jeremy. Jeremy's the one that cares. He's mad that she is sleeping with a guy that doesn't care and didn't go to visit her in the hospital, which, if I'm Vicky, I'm also mad about. A lot mad. She does kind of get mad at the end, but I don't think it's the appropriate amount of mad. So,
Yeah, they don't know what to do with her character.
no.
They don't know what to do with her other than have her be hot and high, which does not a good character make.
No, you're not a compelling character when you're hot and high. You're just like around to be thrown around as a vampire power dynamic chess piece, which, you know what? Work it, I guess.
Also, she did her own stunts for the rooftop scene.
Good for her.
You know what?
Good for her.
She crushed it.
I turned it around on Vicky. I've decided Vicky's my favorite character for right now.
She's been through it.
She's been through 3 seasons of things in 2 episodes. I'm proud of her.
So I want to take this moment to introduce a new segment. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it is a tiny segment that was inspired from watching this episode. And the segment is, how many times do we see do we pop in on Damon standing, staring very menacingly? So we've got 5 instances of him standing, not moving. Happens 5 times. Then we get 2 instances of him showing up and doing a scary move where they're like jumping on someone or biting someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one honorable mention for Vicky in the hospital when she stands still and then she freaks out because she's thinking about Damon. So I call that an honorable mention. So about 8 instances of Damon being creepy.
I love
Maybe
that Damon's
creepy counter.
creepy counter. You
That's
know
it.
what? Because I'm sure others are going to do it. When more vampires get introduced, if Stefan goes off the deep end and like goes full into human blood, he starts being creepy. Yeah, the creepy counter. Let's do the creepy counter.
All right,
Creepy
yes.
counter. Not you actively changing the Google Doc as we're talking.
I didn't want to forget it. It's a golden moment.
Which then now reminds me, yes, creepy counter is great. I don't want to glaze over Abby's fashion corner. It does
Never. We would never.
It is going to be a quick one, but the moment I saw Elena show up on screen in skinny jeans and knee-high brown leather boots and what looks like a fighter pilot jacket the whole episode, but the deepest V cami underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that. That is when there's the joke about millennial women dressing like Han Solo with the vest, this is pre that.
Mm-hmm.
The vest comes later. The vest is like the 2012s when we're all wearing long flowy vests and the big chunky jewelry. But first came skinny jeans and real tall boots. That's all we wore. It's all we wore all the time. So this was such if you pause the show and you said, what year was that? You go, that's 2009. There it is. Right there. That scene.
The hardest part of watching all the fashion moments is realizing how much I miss some of them, but I can't wear them now because they're chuggy, extremely cringe.
Oh, yes. They are, but I'm also remembering how much some of them I hated. Like, I know I mentioned Caroline's yellow dress, and it's like an Empire waist situation, and that was a real big thing. I couldn't do those. They just didn't look right on me, and they were everywhere, and they were so cute on everybody else, and I kept trying to put them on. I'm like, this looks terrible on me. This is not for me. And I was so mad all the time. So if you've ever wondered what that kind of fashion was, it was always very tight clothing. So like the skinny jeans with the boots was always very form-fitting. The camis underneath were always very tight. And then like the big jacket. Mm-hmm. And then once the jackets came off, it was always big flowy tops with the skinny jeans. So it was always like, look at my legs, but like don't look at any of the shape of my upper body. I'm hiding it under loud patterns and flowy. Like, I hated that time so much. It was always so uncomfortable. You're just like, my top feels too loose. My pants are too tight. But damn, I look great.
We all had the muffin tops because you could not avoid it. So that's why you had the big flowy shirt, so no one else would see it.
Exactly. It's just like, I have smashed myself into these jeans. I will be wearing them all day. So that was Abby's Fashion Corner. I saw that and went, I owned boots that looked just like that. I miss that look so much.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us for the second episode of Mystic Falling, Season 1, Episode 2, Night of the Comet. Be sure to let us know in the comments your favorite moments from this episode. You can like and subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to watch the video version, see our wonderful faces. Hello, I'm looking in the camera.
Both of us cheesing immediately for the camera.
You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we're going to be back next week with Season 1, Episode 3, Friday Night Bites. And a little teaser for that one, we've got Bonnie coming in to warn Elena that something's going down. Damon tormenting Caroline, which I think is going to be a recurring theme. Mm-hmm. And then Stefan, in the most important thing ever, joins the football team.
No, he's not. Beth.
Yes, he is. Stefan is joining the football team, which is book accurate. So
I'm so excited.
Follow us on Instagram. We've Instagram.com/mystic_falling. We also are on, I've got a Facebook page. I'm in the midst of starting a Facebook group. And also, if you're on Apple Podcasts or one of those other platforms, be sure to leave a review and comment. Let other folks know about the show. The more folks spread the word, the more folks are going to be around to enjoy Mystic Falling. All right, well, we'll see you all next week. And in the meantime, keep the dark, keep the light. And Abby, don't get bit.
What if I'm into that?